Hi everyone, I'm back. Today is just another ordinary weekend in the life of a 29-year-old dad, unemployed and struggling financially in Vietnam. My morning started with a whirlwind of deadlines on my computer and the cries of my 1-2-month-old son who had a fever. There were times during the day when I felt exhausted and wanted to give up and rest. But adult life doesn't allow you to stop. Amidst my son's fever and the bills piling up, my wife and I decided to close the shop, turn off the computer, get on our motorbike, and take our son to a budget-friendly playground at night. I wanted to give him the best I could within our limited means. In today's vlog, I not only want to take you on a journey to explore the colorful world of Vietnamese children, but also to sit down with you and share our thoughts on the hidden aspects, the sacrifices, and the invisible pressures faced by working class families raising young children in a rapidly evolving society. Thank you for being here, and let's step into a typical weekend in a Vietnamese family. Hello everyone, welcome back to my real life in Vietnam. Today is the weekend. For many people, the weekend is a time for complete rest, but for freelancers with unstable incomes like me, the concept of a day off is quite a luxury. You see me trying to finish work on my computer while also looking after my 12-month-old son. In Vietnam, economic pressure forces most young couples to work themselves to exhaustion. We can't afford to hire a nanny or send our child to expensive daycare centers. So, multitasking like this is a very common sight in typical families. It's tiring, sometimes distracting, but watching my child grow up beside me every day is also a privilege. After finishing work, my whole family had dinner together. A typical working class family meal in Vietnam is very simple and quick. We just scooped rice into bowls and ate right there because our house was quite small and the children were fussy, so we couldn't set out a proper meal. We usually didn't eat at fancy restaurants because happiness was simply those moments when the whole family sat together after a long day. After finishing the cleaning, the hardest task began, giving my child his medicine. He'd been sick for several days. For low-income parents, the greatest fear isn't about going hungry or suffering, but about their children's illness, medical expenses, and medication costs. are always an invisible burden.
Phá.
Seeing my child grimace at the
Ừ.
bitter medicine, my heart aches,
Ba.
but he needs to be healthy so we can take him out tonight.
Bên đây.
Life is full of pressure, and I want to give him the best I can. Once my child's fever subsided, my whole family set off. We traveled by motorbike, the national mode of transportation in Vietnam. If you visit our country, you'll see the streets at night, brightly lit and bustling like this. Nighttime in Vietnam's major cities marks the beginning of a second cycle of earning a living. Some people finish work late, while others begin setting up their stalls to sell throughout the night. The cool breeze on our motorbikes helps us escape the stuffiness of our cramped rooms. We are heading towards the amusement park, where my son will have his first experiences. We arrived. This is a popular integrated amusement park for middle-class and budget-conscious families in Vietnam. The ticket prices are reasonable, fitting our budget. I bought an entrance ticket for 20,000 VND and ordered a few simple drinks for the whole family to enjoy. The total cost was $2.
Có một trà đào nữa em ơi. Ờ.
Này.
Em vô không? Em có lên trên nữa.
You see, even though my son is only 12 months old and doesn't fully understand, he gets incredibly excited when he sees these brightly lit model motorcycles. Perhaps the passion for vehicles is deeply ingrained in Vietnamese children from a young age. Watching the children around me running, jumping, and playing, I suddenly realized how magical the world of children is. They don't care about the worries of the adults outside, nor do they differentiate between rich and poor children. In this world, everyone is equal. With just a plastic ball and a rocking car, they can make friends and play together. This innocence is something that adults like me have long lost in the struggle for survival. Sometimes, watching my children play, I wish I could be a child again, to enjoy those simple joys without worrying so much about the necessities of life.
Đừng đừng cái em của chị đâu quá. Anh ơi, anh ơi. Nắng đổ luôn rồi đó.
In Vietnam, public green spaces for children in major cities are extremely rare. Therefore, indoor playgrounds like this are the only lifeline for children to have the opportunity to develop physically and interact with a rich world of toys. Watching my child happily explore, I realize that all the fatigue outside is worth it for this innocent smile of my child. Each play area here opens up a different world for my child. You see, when he enters, he's overwhelmed by thousands of colors. His tiny hands try to grasp the balls. That's how he learns about space and sensation. Then, when he gets to the building blocks and dinosaur models, he curiously touches the rough plastic horns and tails. For a 1-2-month-old, this isn't just a game, it's a real-life library. Each toy is a first lesson about shapes, colors, and sounds that no book or phone screen can replace. I always try to let my child touch, fall, and explore this world on their own.
Ủi vô luôn. Ây da. Sa. Sa. Mua vậy mua lót kẹp.
Xài gì đâu vậy?
Còn ai xông vậy?
Cái nào thì nè.
Im để im lót kẹp rồi. Nhích qua bên chỗ bọn đi. Đây.
Standing amidst this bustling crowd, having to carry my child and slow down to follow his unsteady steps inadvertently forced me to pause my struggle for survival. I began to observe the other parents around me more closely. Like me, their faces still bore the weariness of a hard week's work, and their clothes were just pajamas or worn-out t-shirts. But at this moment, all our eyes were focused on one place, our children. It turned out that this noisy space was the most peaceful place where parents temporarily shed the masks of adult pressure to fully experience the joy of their children.
Lọt đâu? Làm cho lọt được. Bên đây chưa cái chân rồi, đừng mấy dễ thương rồi. Bạn gái gì bên đây?
My wife and I sat in a corner, silently watching our son. In that moment, we didn't say a word, but we both understood what the other was thinking. We were worried about the future. He would grow up, go to school, and the cost of living in Vietnam was getting higher and higher, while our income wasn't increasing.
Cái đó là phải ngầu đâu.
Xe qua để anh cho. Hết cái tiền. Làm ăn sai hết rồi. Chết rồi vậy đi. Chết rồi. Khác đi.
Becoming parents at 29 in a rapidly developing country like Vietnam is a huge challenge. You're constantly racing against time to avoid being left behind. However, this short weekend getaway recharged our energy. It reminded us that the value of happiness doesn't lie in how much money you have in your bank account, but in how much laughter you can bring to the people you love. Now, my family and I have to leave so the baby can get some sleep and rest. Thank you, international viewers, for patiently listening to these heartfelt stories from an ordinary family in Vietnam. See you in the next vlog episodes.
Vui không bên đây?